So, why am I trying a box tea, store box tea, when I have an entire Sips by I haven't tried yet? Because I'm filming in December, and I think this is going up in January. So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is one of the Amy Brown coffee mugs that my daughter got me. This one says back off, and she's a pretty purple fairy, which really works for me for, you know, cold weather. It gets cold. At any rate, in our Amy Brown coffee mug is Bigelow Lemon Ginger Herbal Tea plus Probiotics that support a healthy digestion, caffeine-free, all natural. I've not tried this. My daughter actually gave it to me. Well, by the time you've seen this, it'll probably be about a month and a half that she picked it out for me. It says steep 4 minutes. It has lemongrass, lemon peel, cinnamon, natural ginger and lemon flavors, and other flavors like soy lecithin, lemon verbena, rose hips, ginger, licorice root, ganadine BC or bacillus something or other, and citric acid. So this is the first time I've tried this tea. We've had a lot of lemon gingers over the past couple of months, so we shall see if I like this one. I don't think I've liked any of the lemon gingers so far. I did double bag the mug because it is a bigger mug, and most of these tea bags are for 8 ounces. Most of my mugs are more than 8 ounces by a significant margin, and I like a stronger tea. So we're going to go ahead and give this a sip. It's been here for maybe a minute or two, and then we will get on with it. The scent is very delicate. Can barely smell it. Of course, I'm also dealing with some congestion, so it might just be me. I'm getting lemon. This one might work. I'm getting the lemon. It's very light. It's very delicate right now. And the ginger's on the back end, and the ginger is also not overwhelming, which is really nice. In a number of the other teas, the ginger was just way too much. So today I'm continuing on in a little short series I'm trying to get done of me trying to get through a lot of the indie brands that I have purchased over the over 2012 and 2020, and some I think were also from 2019. Not very many are left from that, but I have a lot of indie brands that I was supposed to get back to you on and never did. So that's what we're doing today, and we are focusing on one brand because when I attempted to put it in a group of brands, I realized I had way too much of this, and that is the brand Karity. Now, I tried Karity in, I think, 2018. They had a pastel palette that they had on discount. They were selling out. I don't think it's at all available anymore. It was like a unicorn palette or something. And it was before I realized that my skin tone and pastels just do not get along. So I purchased that palette on sale. Plus I had some sort of discount or something. So I got it really cheap. And that's one of the reasons why I got it. And then I had a gift card. So I didn't actually have to put out a lot of cash on that particular palette, for which I'm grateful. But I didn't realize at the time that I had struggles with pastels in general because of my skin tone. And I didn't have much luck with that palette because my skin eats pastels and neutrals alive. It eats pastels for snacks and comes back for more. But at any rate, so I kind of wrote Karity off, not realizing that it was the pastels that were the problem. And then I tried several other pastel palettes and realized that my skin just does not have a very big liking for pastels. So I did eventually find pastels that work for me, and if you're interested in finding out what those are, let me know down below, and I will do a video on pastels that work on pretty much what you could call beige skin, which is what I have. It's pretty beige skin. But when I tried a few others that actually did work on me, I realized that the problem may not have been Karity. It was probably the fact that I actually got a palette that just I really needed hyperpigmented colors for pastels to work. And even then, there's some issues, just because, like I said, my skin's where that stuff goes to be eaten alive. So I'm wearing all Karity today, except for foundation and stuff like that. Let me go ahead and show you this look. So here's this look. Kind of forgive the really huge wings. I'm actually playing around with how to put my wings on, and it's working for me. I just have to learn how to get smaller now. I actually really like this whole bat wing thing trick that I was shown on a TikTok. At any rate, but this is all Karity. The blush is all Karity. The highlighter is Karity. The lips are Karity. So, yeah. Let go my hair. So yeah, everything I'm wearing today is Karity, except for foundation and stuff like that. The brows are not, but we'll just go through what I have, and we will go ahead and start with the palettes. So I started with the Smoky, which I figured had the colors that I would enjoy. It is colorful, and yet they're darker, so I wasn't going to have to worry about them fading out on me like the pastels. As you can see, I have dug into a few of these colors. I've tried most of these. I think I haven't tried the brown. That shouldn't surprise you. I've used this one as a fader. Sometimes I will put a a shimmer underneath the brow, but I don't want it to be as sparkly, so I end up using this to bring it down to about a satin. I think I've tried the pink at least once. I've obviously tried the orange. I have tried the yellow, which is really nice, a really nice yellow. It actually shows up on my skin. It's not showing up there for some reason. I can get it to show up on my eyes very nicely. I had to dig in a little bit, so let's try that again. But I can get this to show up on my eyes. You guys have seen me wear it on my eyes. So I started with this one, and I really enjoyed it. And then I believe the Picante went on sale, and it's an unusual colors for me because it's oranges and yellows and colors that in general I don't use as much because they tend to make my skin look a little sallow. It makes me look like I'm sick if I overuse them. But I have dug into the Picante quite a bit as well and have enjoyed it as well. And here's one of the colors. Here's one of the shimmers from that. It's a beautiful palette. They're both beautiful palettes. Karity is actually really, really nice. They are not luxury priced. As you can see, you get, I think it's 18. No, it's 21 shadows, and they're about $30 per palette. They are, everything that they've sent me that is in a palette form does have the cardboard. There is no mirror. It keeps the price down. I'm sure if they had to put a mirror in here, they'd have to charge another $5 to $10 just for the mirror, and I'd really rather not. I'd just rather pay for really good shadows, which I think these are. They're pigmented and buildable and blendable. Most of the colors are true what's in the pan. The shimmers don't stand up to my eyes as well as some like Violet Voss. However, they do stand up well and fairly well, and they do repair well, which is always a thing that's a requirement for me to like a shadow. If it's a shimmer, it has to be, I have to be able to fix it, repair it. Now, these particular larger palettes are probably not conducive to most people's purses, but they do have smaller 4-pan palettes. They do have a very sturdy hold magnet, which is really nice. So if you do put the palette in your purse, I don't think it's just going to pop on open. It's a very, very good for that. The yellow does show up, and the fallout is minimal on these, especially if you do the technique that I'm doing now, which is basically patting them on. I don't brush. If you brush, you get more fallout. So if you pat them on, you get more pigment, you get less fallout in general, and these have very, very tiny amounts of fallout, which is really nice. So overall, I have enjoyed these two palettes. I do have one other that I want to pick up, and a fourth that I'm thinking about picking up, one of the 9 pans. But I do like these, and I do recommend them if they're in color stories that you're interested in. They do have, they have an all mattes palette. They have an all shimmers palette. They have some pretty beautiful palettes. When I first started using them, I almost couldn't stop. I got them in and I started playing with them, and then I just kept on playing with them, which is a really good sign for a palette for me. So these were really, really nice to have. The next two items are kind of middle of the road for me. And the first is the mascara. This is brand new. They're Bold Mood. They're actually, they have this in the header on their website right now. Fairly nice, fairly wet, nice color. It doesn't do much on its own for me. It lengthens, but no real volume. And even lengthening, I have to put on several coats. Or if I use a base like the Essence, one of the Essence bases, I can get the length in like maybe 2 coats. The length on this is really, really nice. I really enjoy how it lengthens. However, I also prefer to have a little bit more volume and thickness. So I end up using this a lot of the times. That little girl wants to be off on her own. Anyway, I end up using this a lot of the times as a finisher. It lengthens and helps smooth out any clumps that a previous mascara has left. All that said, I'm not inclined to repurchase it. Like I said, I have others that do better all around. They give me both the lengthening and the volume, like Styla. I like the Styla Huge Extreme. I like the Urban Decay. Yeah, so there are others that I prefer. There's a couple of Dochi ones I prefer too. Dochi? Anyway, so I'm always reaching for something else when I'm doing my lashes, and that is true even if I don't have anything in my my stash that I shopped for the month that I am trying to use up. Like right now I'm trying to use up the Big Ego. So without the volumizing, for me, this is just not one that I would repurchase. If you're looking for a lengthener, if you just want something to do length without the whole volume thing, this would probably work for you. So next on the and I have worn both of these today. I did have to get some help with this one. This is the eyeliner I'm going to show you. I couldn't do my wings with it. It's weird. It's interesting. This is somewhat drier formula than what I'm used to, but that's not a bad thing. I feel like some of the wetter formulas tend to bleed more or harder to control. This one was fine. You can see the tip. It has a nice firm tip. It has something on the end because my face. But it has a nice tip and it fattens up, and you can do a thin line. Oh, she's not cooperating today. I was having trouble with her. But you can do a thin line or you can do a thick line. It doesn't have issues with it either way, honestly. But I feel like I have more control over a drier formula. That said, a drier formula also dries out faster and has issues sooner than a wetter formula, so that's something to be aware of. And the drier formula also doesn't bleed as much as I mentioned, especially on my inner corners. As you all know, I have issues with the inner. I'm thinking about cutting my bangs. You all let me know what you think about that. My bangs are driving me nuts. They're at that in-between stage. Anyway, as I was saying, the inner corner of my eyes are problematic. The eyeshadows go poof, and I get weepy when I'm trying to do certain things. So I need an eyeliner that doesn't bleed just because it hits some water. And this one doesn't. It is supposed to be waterproof. We'll get more into that in a minute. But it's supposed to be waterproof, and it does not bleed as much. The tip of the pen is nice and firm and allows me to control the thickness of the line. And it's really a decent black. It does get more problematic as it gets older. The black does start to fade some. When I first got it, it was darker than this. And I have more issues with it applying, especially for like my wings. It's also more water resistant than waterproof. I did use it on my under eyes today. I did end up backing it up with a little bit of eyeshadow because this was not staying. And a lot of that had to do with the way my eyes were just, I want to say sweating, but it's not quite the word. Overall, it's an okay eyeliner, and the pricing isn't horrible for where it is in terms of being drugstore versus luxury. It's kind of in the middle of those two. However, it's not one I would repurchase, and I'm not sure what to say about recommending. If you're looking for a true water resistant or waterproof, this won't do it for you. If you are wanting something that isn't going to bleed out, this is good. You do have to be aware that you do probably need to keep upside down so that the color does continue to work on your skin later, and it does dry out much more quickly. But beyond that, it's okay. It's, like I said, even if I weren't into using the brushes method with the eyeshadows and stuff like that, I don't think I'd repurchase this. I like the Icos and stuff like that better. All right, so next is their blushes. They come in trios. They come in a little thing like this. I do think, and so when I open this up, you'll see what I mean. I think the colors are a bit misrepresented on the site, and I really wish they offered these as singles rather than just as trios palettes. The Pow Pink was a big oops on my part, because one of the shades looked more mauvey to me, and they so aren't. I think it was this one that looked more mauvey. It is not as bright as the central pink, but it's not mauvey. It's definitely very pink. I find it interesting that they do include a mirror in the blush trios and not in their eyeshadow palettes. I don't use this very much, so I think the reverse would be better. But anyway, these pack a punch pigment-wise, and almost every single time I've used them, because these pinks are so bright, I have had to tone them down with a brush that has powder on it just to bring down the wow factor on my face. I have found using a very soft, fluffy brush like this one I got from Saucebox is very good for applying gently and allowing you to build it up rather than just suddenly ending up with boom. That has helped, but still, if you don't have a gentle hand, these are going to hit your face and just, they're there. It's a really good blush, however, like they're very pigmented. I use this one here because it's the shimmer. The others have like more of a satin. Well, this is a matte, and this one is a satiny kind of texture, but this is definitely more of a highlighter, and I did use it as a highlighter, as you can see on my skin. They're gorgeous, and they're very well pigmented, but like I said, I really wish that they would put the blushes into individual blushes and allow me to choose a blush, or make it so that you can make your own little box and let you pick the 3 you want, because the thing with these trios is always going to be at least one shade you're not going to use. This middle pink is not a color that I'm particularly fond of, so I'm likely to use these up, and I've wasted money for this one. So something like that, I just really wish that they would consider that. I also wish they actually really did look, and they do have like 3 or 4 of these, but I had a difficulty, like I said, finding something that was truly mauvey that wasn't too dark. I think the next one that they had that had some mauves in it was just a very dark palette for me. So I like the formula. I really do. I just wish they had a better way of you being able to pick out which one you wanted, or they had them in singles, so it's a little easier to get the right shades for you. All right, so next are their Lippies, and I have one matte, and that is this beautiful purple that is called 99 Problems. You guys have seen me wear it a few times, actually, if you've been on the channel for any length of time. There's that. The matte I have is purple, and from what I understand, purples can be prone to patchiness during application, which this one is. However, they build beautifully. You'll get a little on that first layer. If you do a second layer, it's taken care of. It's fine. It's not the most comfortable I've worn. I do actually have another lip brand coming up in another, if it hasn't gone up already, it's coming up in another of the videos that I'm trying to get through all of these, that I adore the mattes, and as you know, I don't like mattes. So this might actually be really comfortable for somebody else. It's just not completely comfortable for me. It's not horribly uncomfortable. I don't dislike it. It does respond well to like putting a gloss over it and stuff like that. there is some bleeding, and it gets somewhat flaky appearance as it dries down, and it shows off my lines. It's okay, but I'm not a fan. This is not a surprise. Like I said, it's a matte. However, when I wear mattes, I put glosses over them. So that helps me a lot, and that helps with this too. It takes care of all those problems. And I do love the color. It's a beautiful color. So unlike the mattes, the one that they call the gloss has become one of my favorites. It's a thicker formula, but it's not sticky. I have 3 of them here. I have Rogue. We're going to just do this up. So this is Rogue. That's beautiful. And I'm wearing Rogue on my lips today. And I am wearing it with this color Respect over it. So we're going to do this. Clean that off before I put that back in. There's Respect. And then I have Riley. And I think I like mixing Riley with another lippy that I have somewhere. She is a pretty color too. And as you can see, they're kind of thicker. They've got lots of pigmentation. It's not sticky. And so it comes off more like a liquid lip, like a, not like a lip gloss, but like a glossy lipstick. And I really enjoy them a lot. And they're comfortable. I've only used the Karity on my lips today. They're beautiful colors. I actually am thinking about going back and buying more. But yes, I highly recommend these if you can find some shades that you like. They're beautiful. They really, really are. And they come up a lot, and I wear them in my videos a lot. These are just absolutely gorgeous. The matte, you can see how the matte has dried down. It doesn't have the same, you can see some of the patchiness in there, but it is actually, if I apply a gloss over it, it'll be fine. I'm going to put some of this gloss over here. Now the matte is still under there, but now with that gloss over it, it's a slightly different shade, and it's got more of a shine to it, and it looks less dry and patchy, which is really nice. So the mattes are not my favorite, no, but they do mix well. They're not the type that get on your lips and then you're stuck with them for however long. These do very, very nicely. So overall, I have to say I'm really glad that I went back and gave Karity a try again. It was quite problematic for me the first time. You can see that matte is sticking on there. Because of it just would have been really easy just to ignore them after trying that pastel palette and just not think about the fact that the pastels just didn't work for me. But I'm glad I went back and gave them a try, and I recommend them. I recommend the palettes. If you can find a blusher palette that is in the color trio that you would enjoy, I recommend that. They're highly pigmented. Just be careful about application, because if you just use a stiffer brush, it is just going to go on. It's just going to be there. Bright. Bright. The Pow Pink does not have a mauve, just telling y'all. At any rate, so I do recommend the palettes. I do recommend the blush. I recommend at least the gloss. The mattes, they're better than a lot. They don't feel dry. They don't feel tightening. They don't make my lips feel uncomfortable. They just are not the most comfortable that I've seen. I would probably buy more of these as long as I picked up glosses to go over it. I've also used, like, I have Carmex. I've used Carmex over them, and those have worked really well as well. So you don't have your colors being changed if you don't want that. But they are beautiful. They're just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So I recommend the lipsticks. I just am not a fan so much of the eyeliner and the mascara. I have things that do better in both categories, and that's without even using the the little eyeliner type that I prefer to do my eyelining with. So at any rate, that is it for the day, and I hope you like what you've seen. And if you do like what you've seen, I hope you will subscribe. When you subscribe, please hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. I currently upload 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday, but fairly soon we're going to go back to all of our bonus videos. We will be doing indie brands again. Hopefully soon my son will have his first box in a new geeky type box for him to open. And if you send anything, you don't have to, but if you send anything, that gets opened up as a bonus video as well, unless you don't want me to. If you don't want me to, please put a note in the box saying that you do not wish me to open it on the channel, and I won't. Or you can join the domytriesthis Facebook group, which is listed right down below, and you can let me know in there that you have sent a package and that you do not wish to be embarrassed by me opening it here on the channel, and I will listen to you. I won't embarrass you. I could open it without embarrassing you. No, I won't open it if you don't want me to, promise. But if you are interested in any of those videos, you will need to have that bell clicked because they do not go up on regular upload days. If you're part of my notification squad, please check both your bell and your subscription to make sure they're both still active. And if you choose not to subscribe, well, I would be sad and very disappointed. However, you are always welcome here. And when you do come back again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. All right, so this is sat for over 30 minutes. If this thing got the strength now, it ain't never going to have it. We're going to get a sip, and we'll be on our way. I'm smelling more of the lemon. This is actually really nice. I'm actually very impressed. The problem with most lemon gingers is that the lemon isn't strong enough and the ginger is too strong. The lemon in here is light and kind of delicate, but it's there. And you get like a hint of vanilla, even though there's no vanilla in here. Maybe that's the sugar. But at any rate, it's a very nice and light and delicate flavor. And the ginger is not overwhelming it. You get it. There's like a hint of spice, but it's not overwhelming. It's not overtaking it. It's actually really, really nice. So, the Bigelow Lemon Ginger Herbal Tea with Probiotics. Should be available in your grocery store as well. Anyway, that's it. Hope you have a good one.